200-meter dash, first heat underway.
There goes Karen. He's taking second. The throw, the slide, not in time. He's safe.
We'll spike it over and get a point for the Red Hawks.
Strike three. He got him looking.
And that'll be another point for the Red Hawks.
Access Television. I'm Mason Smith, joined today by Tyler Wolkowitz and Kevin Murphy, and we are here at the Veterans Memorial Field at Greenfield High School for the second matchup between Greenfield and Frontier this baseball season in the spring. They met just last week, or it was maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. That ended in a 4-0 shutout win for Greenfield that was led by the excellent pitching of Caleb Thomas, who will not be taking to the bump this afternoon. He will instead be starting in center field. And there's also another change from the previous lineup for Greenfield in the outfield. In right, it will be Nico Ciano, not to be confused with Luca Ciano, who is the catcher both this time and the previous matchup for Greenfield. They will be taken to the field first here this afternoon as Frontier will try and get their bats going, which has been a struggle for them as of late. They're coming into this game off of a tough stretch, a 2-game losing streak compared to Greenfield's 4-game win streak. That was continued with their 4-3 win just a few days ago against Mount Greylock. Now, Frontier, the start of that 2-game losing streak was the 4-0 loss to Greenfield, and it was continued in more recent days by a blowout loss against Monument Mountain, 11-1. So it's been a tough going for the Red Hawks as of late, and they hope to get things started again. And if you take a quick look at those scores, 4-0, 11-1, you can tell that the trend has been that the Red Hawks have been struggling to hit the ball and just put it in play in any kind of fashion. And so that will be the main point of change for the Red Hawks this afternoon, and it will be started off the bat of Jack Cusson, the second baseman, who gets the leadoff spot this afternoon for, I believe, the first time this season. We haven't covered them as much as we would have liked to so far this year, but from what we've seen, the leadoff man has been Ben Karen, and he now takes the second spot. He's in the on-deck circle right now over by the Red Hawks dugout on the first base side. In the hole for the Red Hawks is Brady Pareda, and that will be strike one, the call on the first pitch of the afternoon here in Greenfield. Veterans Memorial Field, pretty standard ballpark. On the mound, Logan Moore, whose second pitch is grounded over to shortstop. Bergeron, the throw, stretch, and he's safe. The throw not in time, as a good hustle from Jack Cusson will get him the leadoff base for the Red Hawks as well. A good infield single there. And now will be Ben Karen, the typical leadoff man for the Red Hawks, taking to the batter's box, receiving some direction from his coach, Chris Williams, on the third base side. Now a pickoff attempt. High. Jack Cusson will pop up, and he will take second as it was thrown out of play. So it will not be down as a stolen base, but an error on Moore, the pitcher. Moore, we have not seen pitch to this Frontier team so far this season. The previous pitcher in this matchup, the first time we saw them, was Caleb Thomas, as we said before. Now a bunt laid down by Karen. He's going to hustle it out. Hesitation from Moore. He gets the out at first, and the runner on third is Jack Cusson on a sacrifice bunt from Ben Karen. Now it will be the third batter up in the lineup for the Red Hawks, Brady Pareda. He was one of the more active hitters in the previous time that these teams met up. And he takes a strike right down the middle for the first pitch. Last game, Pareda found himself a little bit lower in the lineup, but he batted 1 for 2, which included a walk in his third at-bat, or first, I should say. 0-2 is the count. 2 strikes on Pareda. Runner on third for the Red Hawks and 1 out down. Moore with the delivery, and it goes in the dirt off the mask of Lucas Ciano and bounces off the third base line. Cusson will not advance off of third base, but now it'll be a 1-2 count to Brady Pareda. No changes in the field today for the Red Hawks, but a change in the batting lineup. Colin West, one of the 3 captains, is not found in the batting order today, as that will be down and away to Pareda. 2-2 the count now. Instead, the designated hitter for Frontier this afternoon is Sean Bauman, and we'll see his bat later in this inning perhaps, as that is fouled off. Staying alive is Pareda. James, the catcher for the Red Hawks, will go back to retrieve the ball. He's up next, one of the other 2 captains on the team for the Red Hawks. 2-2 delivery from Moore. High and inside for ball 3, and an early full count here at the Veterans Memorial Field. And no changes in the infield for Greenfield as well. Here's the full count delivery, and he got him, rung him up on a low pitch. That caught Pareda looking. So now 2 outs down. James up to bat here for the Red Hawks. Pareda wasn't too happy about it, but still one more chance for Frontier to take an early lead, which they really need. Get on the board. They weren't able to do it at all. You can see over there Fitzpatrick, the second baseman, calling in Nico Ciano. And that is a strike. Ciano, the younger Ciano, Nico, he's manning right field this afternoon. Previously, it was David Knox. That one will be a ball high right around the throat of James. He thought about going for it, but held back before he went to a full check swing. That one will be high as well, not too inside. Again, the 4-game win streak for Greenfield coming into this game. They're feeling pretty confident with themselves. Only 3 runs given up in all 4 of those games. Big swing and a miss from James as it flew over the top of his bat. Receiving some signs from Chris Williams, his head coach, on the third base side. Cusson taking a short lead. And that one's going to be popped up foul on the third base side. Rushing for it is Zaranig, diving, and he did not make the grab. Though a good effort, Caden James stays alive in his big at-bat early in the game. Top of the first here, 2-2 the count, and 2 outs with a runner on third for the Red Hawks. That's Jack Cusson, who was their leadoff hitter. James was one of the more consistent hitters in the previous game. Or, excuse me, not the previous game, just the entire season. Highest batting average on the team. And that will not be dropped. Looked like there was a motion for a drop. Third strike there as James went to run it out. But he's caught swinging for the second strikeout of the inning and second strikeout of the game for Logan Moore. That will retire the side, gets Logan Moore out of a tricky spot early, and the Red Hawks will take to the field with their ace pitcher, Joey Hakoski, who faced Greenfield last time as well. He, going into that game, had a 1.90 ERA. That's landed itself with the previous couple games a little bit above, I believe, a 2.0 ERA, but he's still pitching very well. Pretty happy with his game, but it's going to be an interesting look for Hakoski to see how he might adapt some of his pitching to face off against the same team for the second time. It's always a tricky spot for some pitchers if they go long into games and the batters start to figure them out. And while we're waiting for the innings to change here, we'd like it to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We got a few more of them, thanks to Tom Albert, who's not with us this afternoon. And in honor of him, I suppose, we'll start off with his mom's company, who has sponsored us for a long time now, Albert Hearing Services, right here in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Give them a call at 413-774-0100. That's 413-774-0100. Bard Ceilings in Greenfield. Holiday Pizza, the official pizza of FCAT Sports. The Sugarloaf Hair Studio, the official hair studio of FCAT Sports. Gilmore Farrell Insurance, and Terraz's at Greenfield Country Club. And I think, do we have Zach's this time around? I think that Tom was saying that we did. I'll hold off on it. We'll ask Murphy during a break.
Yeah, we'll be doing that one shortly, and a few others should be rolling in soon, I hope.
Yeah. And so Chase Zaranig will be stepping into the batter's box as the throw down to second is completed. Warm-ups are over for the Red Hawks, and he will be the leadoff man as he was last time for the Green Wave. Strike one called. So traces the bottom line of the zone. Akoski steps back up. The kick, the delivery, swing, and driven back to the backstop. Now an 0-2 pitcher's count as Connor Bergeron, the shortstop, goes back to retrieve the foul ball. He's on deck for Greenfield. In the hole is Caleb Thomas, the now center fielder, pitcher in the previous game. That's a little too low for the home plate umpire. 1-2. Akoski, high and inside. He didn't hit him, but it was pretty close. 2-2 now. Pretty big game for the Red Hawks and Greenfield, an in-league game as the 2-2 delivery is driven over to Durso. He fields it, pumps, and he gets the out at first. Good to see early on from Durso, who had a really tough game the last time that these two faced. It was 5 errors from the Red Hawks that really sealed their fate the last time that they faced off against Greenfield. 2 of them came from Durso, and 2 of them came from the first baseman, Porter Hall. That one off the first pitch, driven over to Cussin at second, and a good reach from Hall as he gets the second out. 2 good plays in the infield. And now 2 down, up to bat Caleb Thomas, who was the 4th and final run for Greenfield in the previous game. 6-3 out and then a 4-3 out to start the bottom of the first. That will be an inside pitch, but called strike. Looked like Thomas was fading away from it. He wanted it to be called a ball. This one, he'll hop over to Dion at third. The throw, stretch in time. Oh, some good connections from all the infielders, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Akoski and the Red Hawks. We'll go to the top of the second when we come back. Red Hawks will lead off with Braden Dion, Drinker on deck, and Bauman, the new DH, will be in the hole. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Top of the second here in Greenfield, Massachusetts, Veterans Memorial Field, and it will be Braden Dion stepping up to bat first in the second inning for the Red Hawks. His first time facing Logan Moore, and it will be a strike on the first pitch here. Moore coming off a pretty good first inning, let up 1 hit on his first batter, and then struck out 2 in the back half, as that is a pretty decent golf swing from Dion there to get him to an 0-2 count. There was 1 man left on base on third for the Red Hawks, but no runs were scored after the leadoff hit from Jack Cusson. Here's the 0-2 delivery inside for ball 1. Right at the belt for Dion. And he'll foul that one back, keeping himself alive. Dion, who just made a pretty impressive one-handed grab at third base to retire the first inning, now faces a 1-2. High for ball 2. Even now is the count. And we talked before about some of the fielding changes for Greenfield, as that one will be fouled back again. And we have the batting change for the Red Hawks in the wings right now. That's Sean Bauman, as Henry Drinker goes to retrieve the foul ball. 2-2 pitch on its way from Moore. That one is driven sharply out to right field. Nico Ciano underneath it, tracking, and he makes the grab in right. So it will be a fly out to right field for Braden Dion in the leadoff spot for the top of the second. And the Red Hawks, now it's Drinker sporting his hoodie as he steps up to home plate here to face off against Logan Moore. Sean Bauman on deck. Durso in the hole. Check swing as it was right at his elbows for ball 1 was the call from the home plate umpire. Moore's delivery. Strike right down the middle. Drinker didn't want a piece of it, but now it's a 1-1 count. That one will be low and inside for ball 2. And this is a pretty huge game for both teams. We said it a little bit before, an in-league game for the two of them. That one will be a foul ball for the second strike of the at-bat. Now the count's even again. But this is the second time these teams are meeting. And so for the Red Hawks, they want to at least split the series with Greenfield, try and get this back half win. Oh, and he rung him up on the low inside strike. Third strikeout of the afternoon for Logan Moore. Doing pretty well on the mound. And now we'll see Sean Bauman. First time I think we're seeing him while we're covering FCAT here. He'll take ball 1 as it drifts outside. And you can appreciate why he might be put in as a designated hitter here. A little bit harder to pitch to as we now see a 2-0 hitters count. He's a lefty taking in on the right-hand side of the batter's box. That will be a strike right at the letters. But just anything that Coach Williams can throw in the way of Logan Moore and Greenfield. Moore moving pretty quickly on the mound. That one is a nice hit out to left field underneath it, and he makes the grab. Bryce Hammond in left field. It looked like the sun might have gotten his eyes for a moment there, but he recovered, and that will be the end of the top of the second inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second where we will see Greenfield try and get more than 3 batters up to bat after Frontier just got turned down on 2 fly balls to the outfield and 1 strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Slightly less successful than their first inning at bat. But Greenfield, just trying to get something going in the first place, was unable to get anyone on base as it was 3 beautiful infield connections. First it was the shortstop Durso, and then it was the second baseman Cusson, and then the third baseman Dion, who all threw back to Porter Hall, who had a great job stretching out to make the out at first 3 times in a row for the 3 leadoff hitters. Up to bat first for Greenfield will be Lucas Ciano, the catcher, the pitcher, Logan Moore, and Arthur Fitzpatrick, the second baseman, whose father was back in here a little while ago, as a matter of fact. Give him a little shout out. So we'll see Lucas Ciano up first. Ciano was a pretty consistent hitter in the previous game against these two teams. He batted 1 for 4, which was just about as good as you could hope for without getting a walk or an error. So he had a single in his leadoff at bat, and then he had 3 other at-bats where he was out, but no strikeouts. Putting the ball in play every single time. 2 line-outs to the infield and a ground out to the infield as well. And that's high and inside. Ducking out of the way was Ciano. So he got a single in his leadoff at-bat in the previous game. He takes a big cut at that one, trying to get a leadoff hit this time around as well. That single in the previous game, he hit out to right field. It was a diving attempt from Drinker. Just couldn't get there in time, as that's ball 2 marked on the score sheet against Ciano as he faces off against Sakoski. Kick, delivery, strike 2 called, even count again. Drinker made 2 diving plays in right field in that previous game as he now drifts a little bit more towards center. That one will be down and away. Full count here. First full count for Akoski. And Ciano's first at bat. Here's the payoff pitch. That one's going to be popped up, foul. Hall lays off the tracking job as it goes into the stands. Didn't look like it hit anyone there. Ciano steps back into the box. Here's the delivery on the full count, and he walked him as it drifted away on the outside of the zone. So now the leadoff hitter is on base at first. Ciano did not steal, but he's a fast runner nonetheless. Hall takes up his position on the inside corner of the bag, waiting for a pickoff attempt. That will be high and outside to Logan Moore as the pitchers face off here. Fouled off over the backstop. Now for a 1-1 count. And it hasn't really been the bats being hot that has made Greenfield so successful in recent games. Again, that 4-game win streak that they have coming into this game, it's been pretty low scoring except for a 10-0 blowout they had against South Hadley. Zakoski's pitch will be a strike on the outside corner. 1-2 the count now to his opposing pitcher, Logan Moore. But it was a 2-0 win, a 4-0 win, and then a 4-3 win that were the other 3 wins in their streak, as that one keeps Moore alive back over the backstop again. But as I was saying, it's not the hot bats that's keeping them alive. It's the lockdown defense. They have great fielders, fantastic infielders especially. Zakoski, the pitch gets past James, and taking second is Ciano. He won't go to third. Gets held up by his coach. Skipped off of the knee pad of James, it looked like. Can't mark that down as a wild pitch, so we'll see a 2-2 count here to Moore. Now with a stolen base for Ciano, and back-to-back full counts for Akoski. Not what you see early on. Getting his pitch count up high. Ciano with a big lead on second. That one is driven out nicely to left field. Pareda underneath, and he gets the grab. Ciano will run back to second and tag off. So that was more on, well, we can say a line out, I suppose, to Pareda in left field. And now up to bat, Fitzpatrick. That will be a ball. Runner still on second here. 1 out gone for the Green Wave. No one covering second for a pickoff attempt. That will be low and inside. Two-0 the count. Hakoski looking back at Ciano. Big cut. No connection made by Fitzpatrick, though, as Hakoski hopes to cash in the second out of the bottom of the second. High and inside. Now a 3-1 count. Big hitters count here. Important pitch for Hakoski as he's got a runner in scoring position right behind him. He looks back at him now. The kick, delivery, outside, and he walks him. 2 walks in 1 inning for Hakoski, off to a rough start, and now he's facing, which I believe actually was a former classmate of his, Uriah Jenis, who had a great game in the previous matchup between these two teams. 1 for 3 and reached base on a 4th at-bat on an error. Put the ball in play every single time, though, and he will this time, too. Big hop. Dion runs over, gets the out at third. The throw, the stretch, in time. Oh, a beautiful double play from Brayden Dion. And check out the flexibility from Porter Hall, again reaching out far to get the out at first. Great stuff from the Red Hawks infield, really stepping up this time around to keep themselves in this game. And now they got to get their bats going, as we will run over to the top of the third when we come back. It will be the bottom of the order for the Red Hawks. Austin Durso, Porter Hall, and then back to the top with Jack Cusson. That will be when we come back. The top of the third is next. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Right back into the action. It's going to be a fly ball, shallow center field. 3 guys underneath it, and it will be Fitzpatrick who makes the grab as the hat came off of Connor Bergeron. That was Durso in the leadoff spot, who on the first pitch sent it high to shallow center. No pitches wasted there for Logan Moore. Still scoreless here in the top of the third. Now it's Porter Hall here at the bottom of the batting order. Another pop-up. Going to stay in the infield. Foul territory. Moore underneath. And there's the second out. 2 pitches, 2 outs for the Red Hawks. And now they're back to the top of their order. It's Jack Cusson, his second time facing off against Logan Moore. He had a single the first time that they saw each other. That was an infield single as well. It was over to the shortstop, Connor Bergeron, and he outran the throw to first. Cusson will take ball 1 on the first delivery from Moore. who's been solid so far this game. 3 strikeouts so far in 2 2/3 innings at this point. But now he throws 2 balls to Cusson as he's just 1 out away from closing out the inning in pretty quick fashion here. Very high. 3-0 the count. Cusson likely to take a swing at the next one if it's anywhere close to the strike zone. And it won't be. A 4-0 count walk for Moore. And so once again, the Red Hawks have their top guy in the batting order on base. Signs coming from Coach Williams as Karen, who bunted last time, again has Cusson on first. He won't take a hack at the first pitch as it will be very low, almost in the dirt. One of 2 captains that's in the lineup this afternoon for the Red Hawks. The third one, Colin West, usually the designated hitter, taking a seat in the dugout this afternoon for Sean Bauman, as that one will be over the glove of the reaching Zoronig, and a base hit for Ben Karen. Red Hawks keeping themselves alive here in the top of the third. So now it's Cusson, the leading runner on second here. Brady Pareda struck out on a full count his last at-bat, fouls this one off just short of the fans. Quick stoppage of play as Ciano will field the foul ball back in and hand it off to the umpire. Back in the box. High for ball 1. Runners not taking too big of a lead here. Already 2 outs down. They don't want to screw up a pretty good situation for them here. That will be a strike called right at the letters against Pareda. Now a 1-2 pitchers count. Big at bat again for the Red Hawks. That one is lined sharply, almost hit the head of Moore into the outfield. Coming home, we're going to have a play at the plate. The throw is not in time. It got past Lucas Ciano into the backstop. Runners advance at second and third, and the first run will go to the Red Hawks on some great base running from Jack Cusson and a great hit up the middle for Brady Pareda. Mark that one down as a double. He's going to get there anyway. So now it'll be Caden James, who just took off his catcher's gear, stepping into the box. And now disengaging is Moore. Now they're ready to go. 2 runners in scoring position, 1-0 lead already for the Red Hawks, and a strike called on James. 0-1 pitch on its way, high and inside, maybe a couple inches away from James's head. He'd probably take one to the helmet for the team. Big lead off the bases, and that's a big pop fly in foul territory. Jennis tracking, going towards the dugout, and the grab is made by Logan Moore as he runs into the fence of Frontier's dugout, smiling as he runs the other way. That will be the top of the third. They finally get the third out. 1-0 for the Red Hawks off of the miscommunication. It was from, I believe, the center fielder that threw it in. That was Caleb Thomas, who threw it just wide of Ciano's glove at home plate. And with that, the Red Hawks have a 1-0 lead. They'll go to the bottom of the third when we come back to try and defend that lead with Akoski on the mound again. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. We missed just one pitch, but this one will be fouled back, not over the backstop. And it's Bryce Hammond who's up to bat here. He runs back into the batter's box. Koski's delivery will be outside for a ball. This is Hammond's first time facing off against Koski today. His first at-bat as Frontier's done a good job managing the batting order for Greenfield, as that one is popped up foul. Tracking it is Dion, and it will go on to the dugout of Greenfield. We missed one pitch before, but there's definitely 2 strikes now. So that one will be fouled back again. Keeping himself alive is Bryce Hammond at the plate, trying to get something going for Greenfield. They've had 2 guys on base so far today. And that will be an out. Foul tip into the glove of James. Put that one down as a strikeout. Why not? Nico Ciano now, the new right fielder, sends this one out to center field. Karen's tracking underneath it, and he makes the one-handed catch as Pareto was there for backup behind him. But some solid connection off the first pitch there from the young right fielder. Should get some good reception back in the dugout, especially for his first time against Koski, who certainly is no pitcher to be frowned upon. That'll be down and away for ball 1. Oof. Well, I'll be. That's certainly a unique situation for Zarani to find himself in. 1-1 the count on a strange strike 1 call, as that one seemed to be closer to the strike zone from our perspective. But that will be a ball. 2-1 the count here. Lined out. Oh, a great fielder, a good stop. Durso, the throw off of the bag. He's safe. It was a wide throw from Durso. And with that, it will be Zaranig on first base, reaching on an error from Durso on the throw, not the stop as much. That one will be fouled back over the press box that we're in by Connor Bergeron for the first strike. Second time facing off against Koski. Grounded out his last time at bat. And it'll be a 1-1 count now. Bergeron went 1 for 3 in his last game against Koski. So he'll take ball 2 there, low and inside. Greenfield sitting tied for second right now in the Suburban West Conference over Frontier. So that will be a big cut for strike 2. Frontier in 4th place, right behind Greenfield in the Suburban West. So once again, a big league game for them. That one's going to be grounded softly, and it hit the foot of Bergeron, a foul ball, keeping him alive as he's walking that one off. Certainly felt it in his big toe. Definitely favoring the outside of his foot, it looks like. Koski will take back to the mound. 2-2 the count. Pitch to Bergeron. Line sharply. Diving attempt made by Durso. He couldn't get there. Everyone will be safe. And A good effort, though, from Pareda from left field. He saw Zaronic taking a big lead, and he threw it over to second. Tag was just a little off from Cusson, who was covering the bag. But that will be the first hit of the game for the Green Wave. Now runners on first and second. That one lined behind Hakoski, and it jumped up right into the stomach of Cusson. He lost the ball for a moment, and now there's bases loaded with 2 outs. It's a good job from Caleb Thomas getting on first there on the first pitch, no less. Hakoski facing off against Lucas Ciano. Sends one inside for ball 1. The catcher had a walk in his previous at-bat on a full count. Now he faces bases loaded and 2 outs and a 1-1 count. As he liked that pitch, couldn't get everything on it, though. Redhawks trying to hold on to a slim lead right now. Just 1-0 the margin here this afternoon. As that will be a low strike called against Lucas Ciano. He didn't like it one bit, shaking his head as he's outside the batter's box. Now he'll step back in. Pitcher's count 1-2. Delivery from Hakoski on its way. That one is going to be chipped over to Hall. Fields it, and he gets the force out at first. As he can practically walk on over there. The Redhawks will escape from a really sticky situation there. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Hall gets the third one on a ground out. And with that, the Redhawks and the Green Wave will find themselves in the top of the 4th. Frontier will go back to the batter's box to try and extend their 1-0 lead. Give Hakoski's arm a bit of a rest after that long bottom of the 3rd. And we'll see Logan Moore return back to the mound after a pretty good previous inning despite the runs that were scored. When we come back, top of the 4th here in Greenfield, Veterans Memorial Field, 1-0 to score. Frontier leads. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. We're coming in to the top of the 4th inning here, closing in on just about halfway through the game this afternoon, and it will be Braden Dion facing off against Logan Moore as the Redhawks try to extend a 1-0 lead against their rivals, the Green Wave of Greenfield. Dion will take strike 1, just a touch inside on his first pitch. Grounded sharply over to Jenis. He fields it nicely and gets the easy out at first. 2 groundouts in a row to the first baseman, just on opposite teams. So we'll see Drinker for the second time this afternoon. Struck out on a 2-2 count, and a check swing he did go. There's strike one called. And that will be another check swing and another strike as he actually makes contact this time. He'll foul it back. He wouldn't have gone all the way around this time if he didn't make contact. But it honestly might have been a strike regardless. Looked pretty close. 0-2, down and away. As Moore can't close out the K right there. One-two delivery, high to even the count. Drinkers staying cold in the box. Redhawks sitting at 3 hits in the afternoon. 1 run tallied as Moore disengages. They're asking for a count here, and they get it, 2-2. Moore now with the delivery. And he got him looking on a changeup. A nice delivery there from Logan Moore. As they hand the ball around the infield, finds its way back to Logan Moore. For the second time, he'll find himself facing the lefty, Sean Bauman, who flew out to left field his previous at-bat. Pulled it the opposite side of the field, as that will be ball one in the dirt. That last hit was off of a 2-1 pitch. And here's a 1-0 now. A little too high for that one. 2-0 the count. There's the noise from the Redhawks dugout, and the strike is the answer from Logan Moore. 2-1 the count, same count when he made contact last time. And he will this time as well. It'll be foul, though, over our heads and behind us for strike two. Even count at 2. Kick, delivery from Moore. Line sharply over the head of Bergeron to left field. A base hit for Sean Bauman. A good start as the designated hitter in his second plate appearance. Will give the Redhawks another chance here in the top of the fourth. Durso up to bat now. He flew out on the first pitch as a pickoff attempt is made at first base. Bauman dives back safe at first. But Durso's previous at-bat was just in the last inning as he was the leadoff hitter in the top of the third. Moore delivers, and again, a swing on the first pitch. He doesn't connect this time. Last time he did that, it was a pop fly to Fitzpatrick at second base. Now Moore disengages again. Looking for some signs from his coach. He nods. Check swing, still a strike. Durso, a little upset with himself there, seemed to know it just a little too late. 2 outs gone, runner on first. Durso facing an 0-2 pitch, and he'll line that one sharply left field, and it's foul. Foul is the call from the umpire as he walked out down the third base line. Had the best look in the house, but it was pretty close. The wind blowing to the left here today definitely pushed that one foul. That was some great contact right there from Durso. Could have been a huge hit if it stayed in play. Durso stays cold. Doesn't bite at the high pitch. That's one he seemed to like a lot previously. Big lead from Bauman. And that will drop down inside for ball 2. Moore shaking his head. He doesn't like the call there. Another big lead from Bauman. Now they throw it back to first. It's high. Jennings is on top of it. No chance for a tag, though. That's the second pickoff attempt there from Moore on Bauman this inning. That one will be grounded over to Bergeron, hopping plenty, and they get the force out at second. Good heads-up play from Connor Bergeron at short, and that will do it for the top of the fourth. Before we go to the bottom of the fourth, as Greenfield will take to the batter's box, we'll read out our sponsors and thank them again. So, Albert Hearing Services here in Greenfield. Give them a call at 413-774-0100. That's 413-774-0100. Holiday Pizza, the official pizza of FCAT Sports. Bard Ceilings in Greenfield. The Sugarloaf Hair Studio, the official hair studio of FCAT Sports. Gilmore Farrell Insurance. Terraz's at Greenfield Country Club, and was confirmed while we're on break by Mr. Kevin Murphy. Zach's Barbecue in South Deerfield. Go give them a try. They got some great smash burgers, ribs, whatever you want. They got it. It's some great stuff over there, giving us plenty of food before we've suited up to do these games. And so we'll see Akoski back on the mound for the Red Hawks for the fourth straight inning. He will be facing off against Logan Moore, his opposing pitcher, as the throw down to second rolls all the way out to Ben Karen in center field. So we'll have a short delay there. But now Akoski will get the ball back. And Akoski will deliver a strike on his first pitch after a pretty stressful inning previously. That was when he faced bases loaded and 2 outs. That one will get away from James. Might have just let it go, as it was a ball in the dirt, and he gets a new one from the home plate umpire. Fitzpatrick, who's on deck, retrieves it. Now the 1-1 pitch from Akoski will be strike 2, looking again. Moore has not swung so far in this at-bat, 3 pitches in. Akoski on the 1-2 sends it outside to even it out for Logan Moore. That one will be grounded over to Cusson. Hopping, he makes the grab. Easy throw over to Hall for the force out at first. All that Greenfield really needs is some base runners, and puts a lot of pressure on Akoski. We saw that already. So now it'll be Arthur Fitzpatrick, who will take strike 1 right down the middle. The second baseman walked in his previous at-bat on a 4-1 count. Takes ball 1 to even it out on the second pitch. That will be ball 2, just about in the dirt, if it wasn't. Fitzpatrick was 0 for 3 in the previous game between these two teams. This takes a big cut for strike 2. Even again. He did get on base once, though, in his final and 4th at-bat of that afternoon on a walk. Check swing. He didn't go, and it's a full count. Good job working himself back. And now the payoff pitch from Akoski on the way. And he got him looking. Fitzpatrick not one bit happy about that, looking back at his dugout in disbelief. As Uriah Jenis will come up to the plate. He grounded into a double play. It was a great job from Braden Dion at third base to get the force out at third and then at first. As that one will be popped up. Underneath it, calling it is Durso, and he makes the grab as Dion was over there too. But the third out is there. And the Red Hawks will once again as they did in the first inning. Go 1-2-3, holding on to their slim lead for just a little while longer. They'll try and extend it once again when they come back in the top of the fifth, officially past the halfway mark here in Greenfield in this rivalry game here at Veterans Memorial Field. When we come back, it will be the bottom of the order for the Red Hawks for the second time, Porter Hall, and then back to the top, Jack Cusson and Ben Karen up to bat against Logan Moore. 1-0 lead for the Red Hawks here in Greenfield. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Top of the fifth here at Veterans Memorial Field, and Porter Hall is up to bat for the second time this afternoon. He'll take a ball on the first pitch of his second at-bat. Artie will be deeper into an at-bat than he was his previous time. Fouled out on the very first pitch that time around, and now he has a 1-1 count. 1-0 lead for the Red Hawks, and Hall will ground this one over to Connor Bergeron. It hops up into his stomach, and it will be a man on first for the Red Hawks on an infield error by Connor Bergeron. Good hustle, though, from the first baseman, Hall. You got to give him credit for that. The infield grass has been a little spotty today. We've seen it in warm-ups for Greenfield on the throwdowns, skipping all over the place. Hall with a hefty lead off first. And Jack Cusson, back at the top of the order, takes strike one on a big cut. Ben Karen on deck for the Red Hawks, disengaging is Moore, checking in on Porter Hall. Now Cusson steps back into the box. Takes strike two, looking this time. Cusson's been pretty successful so far this game as the leadoff hitter. A single in his first at-bat and a walk, which he ended up being the one run that the Red Hawks have in this game so far as he crossed home plate. That will be a stop made. Now a throw down to second. Big hustle from Hall, and he's safe. A great job from Porter Hall showing the wheels. A 1-2 count now on its way to Cusson. Oh, and a deep hit left field. Going back is Hammond, and he makes the grab. Hall doesn't tag up. There's been a few big hits out to left that Hammond has covered pretty well for Greenfield this afternoon. Only one out down, and Karen finding himself in a very good position, runner in scoring position in his friend Porter Hall as he takes strike one on the first pitch. Hall with the lead off second, no one covering, and strike two called. Looking again was Karen. He's 1 for 2 so far this afternoon on a single to left field. That was in his previous at-bat. And he'll hack that one high, shallow left underneath it, and the grab isn't made. He dropped the ball. Hall doesn't advance, as it was right by third base. But another runner on base for the Red Hawks off of another error from Greenfield. They're the ones getting plagued now by those errors. It was a tough play to make nonetheless, though you got to give Hammond some credit for at least tracking it down. He had it in his glove, and the collision he had with the ground just knocked it out. Big leads from both runners, as that will be ball one to Pareda, who had a huge hit in his last at-bat, which gave Frontier the run. So already one RBI today. Disengaging to check in on Hall was Moore. Frontier's dugout plenty happy about that. Hall, another big lead off second. The delivery high and inside to Pareda as he walks out of the batter's box there. Frontier's dugout starting to get under the skin of Logan Moore. You can see it in his pitches. The 2-0. Make it 3-0. Logan Moore on the verge of walking himself into a bases-loaded situation. Only one out log so far here in the top of the fifth. Here's the pitch, and he does. A walk to load the bases. And there's a little conversation had there between the catcher and his pitcher. So now it will be Caden James. Best man you could hope for at the plate in a situation like this. He's 0 for 2 so far today, but one of the best hitters on the team. Definitely a heavy hitter too. Waiting for everyone to get ready, and now James steps into the box. Bases loaded, one out. Here's the first pitch to James. Fouled just wide of the dugout for strike one. On one pitch. Sent high. Going to be staying in the infield. Connor Bergeron calls for it, and he's got the second out. James upset with himself on that ball. Got a little too far underneath it. But that's only the second out for the Red Hawks. Now it will be Braden Dion, the third baseman who's made some great plays in the infield so far today. He'll be stepping up to the plate. 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Put the ball in play both times on a fly out to right and a ground out to the first baseman. He takes a big cut on the first swing. Misses for strike one. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Dion, and another big cut for another big strike for Logan Moore. Now potentially one pitch away from getting himself out of a rough spot. Here's the delivery, and that will be sent to Bergeron, who bobbles the ball, throw to first, safe! And the run scores. Another error from Connor Bergeron. Won't be an RBI for Dion, but he puts in the work, shows the hustle, and gets to first in time, earning the Red Hawks their second run. And there's the errors showing again. I mean, that really is the story of high school baseball. Which team will make more mistakes here? Big cut from Drinker for strike one. Well, that's the umpire, infield umpire, I think it was, who was given a talk to Frontier's dugout, telling him to quiet down a little bit. Oh, 1 delivery here to Logan Moore. That one is going to be sent out softly to shallow right. Diving, and he couldn't make the grab. Another run will score. Make it 2. 4-0 Red Hawks. as the errors continue to plague Greenfield. That one will be marked down as a base hit. Didn't look like he had it in his glove. But Drinker with a 2 RBI single. Now it'll be Sean Bauman, who had a single in his last at-bat, just last inning. Big hit, left field, underneath it is Hammond, and he makes the grab. That will end a big inning for the Red Hawks and a rough one for Logan Moore and Greenfield as they now drop behind Frontier 4-0. When we come back, it will be the bottom of the fifth. Well, they'll try and get some kind of action going at home plate. They've only had one hit so far this afternoon, and that was 2 innings ago in the third. So when we come back, the leadoff hitter at the bottom of the order, Bryce Hammond, who just got the third out, Nico Ciano, and back to the top with Chase Zaranig. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Bottom of the fifth inning here, and it's Bryce Hammond, the leadoff hitter for Greenfield, as they now find themselves trailing at home against the Frontier Red Hawks 4-0, as now it is their turn to be plagued by a multitude of errors in the field. Same amount as the Red Hawks had in the previous matchup between these two, 5 now, as Hammond will take a 2-0 pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Hammond struck out on a 2-2 count, or a 2-2 pitch, I should say. His previous at-bat, now he finds himself in a 2-2 position again. Trying to get something going is Hammond, and he struck out, motioning to his shin, saying that's how low it was. Not happy at all with that call. That'll be the third strikeout of the afternoon for Joe Yakoski. Now he's facing Nico Ciano for the second time, who had a pretty good first at-bat for the first time we've seen him here at FCAT Media. It was a fly ball off the first pitch to center field. Some great contact as he now faces a 1-1 count, a little bit deeper into an at-bat than he was the first time around. Take strike 2, looking again. 1 out gone off of Akoski's third strikeout of the game. And Ciano will stay alive off of the low pitch for ball 2. And that will be the fourth strikeout as Nico Ciano takes the cut on the 2-2 delivery for strike 3. Now we're back to the top of the order. Third time that Chase Zaranig has been at the plate this afternoon, having a little chat with Caden James before he steps into the box. 0 for 1 so far on 2 plate appearances. Ooh, dangerous hop. Barely got over the head of Akoski. The throw is in time. Oh my goodness, a great play made by Cusson off of a strange hop. It hit right at the front of the mound. Cusson fielded it cleanly. The throw to first was in time thanks to the big stretch from Porter Hall again. But it was a good hustle from Zaranig as well, as he will be marked down on a ground out 4-3 on the first pitch. So it's 1-2-3 again for Akoski and the Red Hawks. They keep the shutout going, although it's a little too late for Akoski to be looking at a no-hitter, as there was one previously in the game for him. Logan Moore taking back to the mound for Greenfield, it seems, as they again are trailing 4-0 after a 3-run top of the 5th. They'll go to the top of the 6th, try and hold the Red Hawks and give themselves some time and room to get their bats going when we come back. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Top of the 6th here. We're heading into the final 2 innings of this rivalry matchup in Greenfield. Frontier Red Hawks against the Greenfield Green Wave. And Durso, as the leadoff hitter, grounds one over to Bergeron, fields it cleanly. Throw is in time despite the good hustle from Durso. So on the first pitch, he will ground out 6-3. He's now 0 for 3 in the game so far. He's put the ball in play every time, though, so you got to give him credit for that one. Hall, who reached first on an error by Bergeron in his last at-bat and ended up reaching home on an error from Bergeron, was the second of 4 runs for the Red Hawks and the first of 3 in the previous inning. Gets caught on a first pitch strike 1. His third plate appearance this afternoon. Big cut, strike 2. A little off balance, it looked like, as he fell backwards, completing his swing. Oh, 2 the count. And outside for ball 1. One's already away for Greenfield, as they are trying to defend a 4-game win streak and sweep the season series against the Red Hawks. That will be a strong foul ball from Porter Hall, keeping himself alive in the at-bat. He was the leadoff hitter in just the last inning, and now he's the second one up in this one. Takes that one just a little bit outside. On deck is the top of the order, Jack Cusson. Foul tip, and it wasn't caught. So no out there. Staying alive again is Porter Hall, and we're going to have a ball exchange here with the umpire. He'll clean off home plate, too. Why not? In the hole for the Red Hawks after Jack Cusson is Ben Karen, who's had a pretty good outing so far today himself. Fouled back again by Porter Hall, this time into the backstop as Cusson goes to retrieve it. It's only a 2-2 count, but it's been a long at-bat leading up the pitch count for Moore. And staying alive again. Second time Hall has fouled it off in that direction on the third base side. This one will be in fair play. Bergeron gets the out on Hall this time around. No error on his part. So 2 back-to-back 6-3 groundouts, but a hefty at-bat in terms of pitch counts for Logan Moore, taxing on his arm. Not sure where that throw was going to. Cusson with contact on the first pitch, center field, and 1-2-3 goes the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th for Greenfield as they have just 6 outs remaining to try and score at least 4 runs to equalize the game, send it to extras if they can. In the meantime, it will be Joe Yakoski back on the mound, just 6 outs away from pitching a complete game in what would be just about a mirror image of the last time these two met, where it was Greenfield's pitcher, Caleb Thomas, who pitched a complete game and a shutout. He's the one that's in center field for Greenfield this afternoon. He will be up to bat, not in the leadoff spot, excuse me. He will be on deck once Greenfield is ready to go up to bat after Frontier's warm-ups. Up to bat first will be Connor Bergeron, who is credited with the assist on 2 of the 3 outs for the top of the 6th inning while Greenfield was on defense there. Frontier leading 4-0 right now. They've had plenty of help from their bats, but also plenty of help from the infield of Greenfield. 5 errors logged so far. None in the previous inning, though, cleaning up their game a little bit. Frontier has not been perfect on the score sheet in terms of errors themselves. Was hoping to be just about that. They've had 2 errors so far. Strike 1 going to be called on Connor Bergeron, who is 1 for 2 so far this afternoon, his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Takes ball 1 inside. His second at-bat was where he made contact and put it in play. That was a single to left field. His first at-bat was a ground out to second base. Jack Cusson on the assist for that play. Two-one, and now it's 3-1. The pitch was a little too low, looked just short of his knees there. Koski's delivery inside, and he clipped him. So what would have been a walk otherwise goes down as a hit by pitch for Koski. Possibly a sign of concern for Coach Chris Williams as he stands at the edge of the dugout right now. That one will drift way outside. Now against Caleb Thomas. That will be a strike. Even the count out. Short lead taken on first by Bergeron. Koski pays him no mind. That's going to be popped up in foul territory. Hall underneath it. And he makes the grab for the first out of the inning. Lucas Ciano now the man at the plate. 0 for 1 so far today. He walked in his first at-bat. Got all the way to second before being the first out in a double play that Uriah Jenis hit into. That ended the second inning. And his third inning at-bat was a ground out right back to Porter Hall. That one will be just a touch outside for a ball. Koski looks over at first, delivers to home, low for ball 3. Koski having a little bit of trouble hitting the zone so far this inning. And that will be a strike. Ciano taking a chance as it was close. And he was hoping for a ball 4 call. Doesn't go his way. Now it's a 3-1 batter's count. And he will ground it over to Dion, who looks to second. Throw to first. Stretch. In time. Another double play for the Red Hawks. Beautiful stuff from the infield this afternoon. And Dion has been the heart and soul of just about all of it. Him and Porter Hall have been having some fantastic connections as Ciano grounds into the double play to end the inning in 3 batters for the Red Hawks. We'll now go to the top of the 7th where the Frontier Red Hawks will have just one more chance to tack on to their 4-0 lead here on the road against Greenfield. When we come back, it will be Ben Karen up to bat, Brady Pareda in the hole, and Brady Pareda on deck and Caden James in the hole. 4-0 lead for the Red Hawks, 7th inning on its way. You're watching Frontier Community Access Television. Hello and welcome back to Frontier Community Access Television. Ben Karen, the leadoff hitter for Frontier, as they try and defend a 4-0 lead in the top of the 7th. Moore disengaged before the first pitch. Now he delivers to Karen, who won't take a hack at it and takes strike 1. Ben Karen 1 for 2 so far this afternoon. Reached base on his previous at-bat on an error. And he will reach base on a single to left field this time around. Fielded nicely by Hammond. But was a great line drive right over the head of Zaranig at third base on the second pitch of the at-bat. Brady Pareda, now the second batter up, as we saw some warm-up action happening over on Frontier's side of the field. This pickoff attempt is made. No time for a tag for Uriah Jennis at first. Karen dive back safely to the bag. Shows bunt inside, didn't hit him, but it was a dropped pitch. And Karen, who leads the team in stolen bases, takes another one as he heads over to second. But this is not too surprising here. Looks like we won't be seeing Caden James, and that will not be an out. Very close. It's popped up foul. Ciano couldn't get to it in time as Pareda has been showing bunt pretty heavily here. 1-1 the count here as Karen takes a lead off second. Showing bunt again. He lays it down this time. Karen advances to third, and the throw is over the hands of the second baseman who was covering first. Karen will waltz home. Going to third is Pareda, and he will slide in safely. And hold on. They called Pareda out at third. The throw, there was no throw to third. He slid in to third. You have to assume because his coach told him to. And so we'll see how this sorts out. I think that they might be calling this a ground rule double. Well, this is where we're seeing Colin West up to bat, and this is where we didn't get to finish the conversation before. Colin West pinch hitting for Caden James, who looks to be relieving. That's a good hit. Left field, it's going to drop. Here comes Ben Karen. He'll score this time around. And West, he'll round second. Looking at third, a long throw on its way. Not in time, a big collision at third base. As West rightfully slid in. Zoronic definitely shaken up on that play as he shoved West off of him. An RBI triple for the heavyweight hitter, Colin West. Dugout fired up here for Frontier. Now we'll get back into the regular batting order here as Dion lines one out to right field. Center field. It'll drop for another base hit. Another run comes home. Now, I'm not sure how many runs Frontier has in total because of the whole situation that happened with Pareda. As with the whole thing with that, and the reason why there's still confusion about it, is it looked like there was a motion from the umpire that there was a double. But Pareda went to the dugout. That one will be chipped over to shortstop. Bergeron throw to first in time, and a nice job from Jenis at first to check in on Dion at second. Now it'll be Sean Bauman with, I suppose, 2 outs down. Takes ball 1. Still trying to catch myself up on the score sheet a little bit as well. Runner in scoring position again for the Red Hawks. Fouled high. Zoronic in pursuit, and he won't get there. So 1-1 the count here for Bauman. And that will be a ball high. Grounded back in the direction of Moore. Gets up the middle. Throw from Bergeron. High, but in time. That will be the third out. Another ground out 6-3 play there. But a chaotic inning in favor of the Red Hawks as they will notch on 2 more runs in an inning where they really showed their strength in the batter's box. That is the kind of action that the Red Hawks were hoping to see. for just about this whole season, really. I mean, they're hoping to get their bats more active, and that's just about as good a time as any, as we will see James waiting in the dugout. It looks like he's putting on his catcher's gear right now, but he seems to be the one that will be relieving Hakoski if necessary. No other fielding changes, it seems, as West was simply a pinch hitter for Caden James, making his one plate appearance of the game. He'll check back into the dugout in the meantime. And so it will be Hakoski trying to close out this game. A shutout, not a no-hitter though. And he has gone 3 innings straight without allowing a hit. And he's actually gone 3 innings straight with facing only 3 batters. So far in the game, he's put together 4 strikeouts, and he will face off against his opposing pitcher in the leadoff spot, Logan Moore, who takes strike 1. Didn't even watch it as it went past him, just watching the eyes of Hakoski. This one will make contact with his bat. A high fly ball. Durso underneath. Pareto waves him off, and he comes in to make the grab from left field. Gonna have to talk with him after the game about what the decision from the umpire was on that. There was a lot of deliberation afterwards. You have to imagine it was something to do with the slide, which negated both the hit, the RBI, and the extra bases off the bad throw. Inside for ball 1 here to Fitzpatrick. As the score now reads 6-0 in favor of Frontier. Showing bunt was Fitzpatrick. Pulled off, but it's a strike nonetheless. High for ball 2. Hakoski's been an impressive pitcher for the whole season so far. Works himself to a 3-1 count now, but especially for his age, he's a really promising player for the Red Hawks and their future couple seasons of baseball. And he will walk the batter here in the bottom of the 7th. Just 2 outs remaining for Greenfield to mount any kind of comeback. Try and break the shutout at the very least. Short lead off of first. Pitch to Jenis. Drifts outside for ball 1. Jenis 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Grounded into a double play, his first at-bat, and popped out to shortstop. And he faces a 1-1 count here. Both of those at-bats were only 1 pitch long. He made contact on the first pitch, and he hasn't swung yet. Now he does. Sends it one deep. Left field, Pareto gets his 2nd out of the inning. 2 down. 1 to go for Joey Hakoski and the Red Hawks. They've got a runner on first in Arthur Fitzpatrick, and Bryce Hammond, who has struck out twice so far today, is up to bat. And he'll take ball 1 high and outside. Both of them have been on 2-2 counts when he got that 3rd strike called on him. That one will be a strike called, looked pretty far inside, and he turns back to the dugout and says, wow. He did not like the call on his last strikeout. That was the one that was looking. And he will make contact this time. Fair play. Dion to first. The hop. And it's in time. That's your ball game. The Red Hawks will split the series with the Greenfield Green Wave as Hakoski Dion and Hall on defense will help carry Frontier to victory, backed up by 6 runs as their bats got really hot in the top of the 7th. But the big story of the day, as it was the last time these two teams faced, was the errors. 5 errors on the afternoon for Greenfield that really ended up sealing the deal and just made it impossible for them to amount to any kind of comeback. Weren't able to break the shutout, though, so it's a good milestone for Joey Akoski and another impressive pitching outing, and that will break the 2-game losing streak that the Red Hawks have, which, of course, started with their first loss to Greenfield earlier in the season. So the final score, again, 7-0 here in Greenfield. The next game for the Red Hawks will be on the 28th, 4 days from now, at home against Ludlow. And then their next in-league game will be 2 days after that, the 30th, at home against Pioneer, who currently leads the Suburban West League undefeated, just about as good as their boys basketball team. So that should be a pretty exciting one for them. But for now, they will enjoy their shutout win on the road. I've been Mason Smith, here with Kevin Murphy and Tyler Wolkowitz in Greenfield. You've been watching Frontier, Community Access Television. Have a wonderful week.